Hi, I'm Sean Bougie. I very much appreciate you taking the time to look through this video. I'm going to cover quite a bit. I'm going to cover the main questions or the items I feel we need to cover right now, right at the beginning, and then I'll get into more. So let me give you an overview of what the video is going to contain. For those of you that don't know me, I was a realtor starting in late 1993, became really heavily involved in that, was lucky enough to be associated with some of the best investors, the brightest investment minds in the Charlotte, North Carolina area anyway, and learned quite a bit from them. We fell into surplus funds, actually going after mortgage overages, and have since branched out into tax overages. If you watch some of my videos, you'll see where I say you've got to go into the courthouse. It's no longer true because TLO has come along where we can actually look up judgments against the individual and take care of that for you. So the opportunity has grown over time. We have grown as a company over 75% a year the last 4 years in a row, which is really staggering. It's amazing. And it's because of the people that have worked with us and because of the way we've set this system up. But let me just briefly touch on what's really important here. First off, we're coming up on the 14th of October. We only do this briefly, maybe a couple times a year. We're going to offer Florida remote to a couple of people, say probably five of them, after we do the October 14th, Friday, October 14th, 2016. We're going to have a webinar where we'll answer any questions you've got. Anything you have on any programs we have, including folks that have purchased from us and have maybe not used the support system yet and have a few questions I want to throw out. It's going to be open to everybody. The second thing that's important, though, is in order to even be considered for that, you got to attend that webinar and go to the Facebook page, guys. I'll give you a link on this video. Excuse me, or on this page where you can go on Facebook and check out what's going on and the recent checks we've had. You can also see a post about the app. There'll also be app links where you can get the app in either Android or in Android or in the Apple version, iPhone version. The reason that we're pushing the app, first of all, you're not going to be able to even consider getting that Florida remote. There's limited unless you have the app, because you have to use the app to get it. After we have that, after we have the webinar, and the webinar will start at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Friday, the 14th. But you're going to have the app. We're pushing that hard, guys, for a reason. Google in particular has really, and as well as Yahoo and some other ones, has really cracked down on email. So when we send out email notifications, what we're finding is the majority of them will get there on time, but there's literally 10-15% that are delayed or sent later. It's not that they think we're spam, it's that they want to slow it down because of the sheer volume we're sending. The app eliminates that. It allows us to send you a notification that you can just swipe away if you don't even want to look at it. You don't even have to open it. It'll pop up on your phone. It avoids the issue with any problems with email notifications. Everyone will get that on time. And our January sale, we're going to have specials on that, guys. January 2017, we're launching a new product, plus we have some specials we're going to be running again. And when we do that, if you don't have the app, you're not going to be able to get all the specials. We really want you to understand you need to have that. I will have the Windows version of that probably in the next week, where you can download it also onto a desktop. The iOS version works on any Apple product, though, iPhone, iPad, anything. So that should help you too. All right, real quick, guys. Besides the updated information I needed to give you, and by the way, go to the webinar. Okay, go to that webinar. Besides that, I want to cover the different programs. So some of you guys that have been around for a while, you might want to skip this just because it's information you already have. I'm also going, in addition to the stuff I'm going to go through here, I'm going to have examples. A lot of you are wondering, a lot of you haven't come on board yet, and you're thinking about maybe the National Surplus or, primarily the National Surplus Funds Program, and you're wondering exactly what you have to do. I'm going to give an example at the end of this video. All right, so that's going to show you what's required on your site, actually step by step. So that'll help you decide whether or not you want to do this. Okay, a couple things. What are the available programs? What are you guys responsible for? How do you get paid? If you are looking to, by the way, you need to know this. If you're looking to get rich quick, this is not the program for you. Don't buy it. And by the way, this is for my benefit. I know you probably can't read this. But if you're looking for get rich quick program, or you're thinking the money fairy is going to appear and just drop money underneath your pillow, forget it. It's not going to work that way. This is a work home. This is a work program. Some of it's work from home. Most of it's work from home. And I'll get into that in a second. You can look me up, Sean Buige, B as in boy, U-I-G-E. Facebook, our Facebook page is called TSM. We may be changing that, but it's called TSM. That's short for Tax Sale Millionaire. YouTube is Mr. D Flip is my YouTube channel, MRDEEDFLIP. Also, the app has access to all this stuff, guys, links, so it makes it a heck of a lot easier. Greater Good Company is BBB, A+ accredited. That's our buyout company. It has nothing to do with our programs. It's our buyout when we get in touch with people and buy them out. I've been a real estate agent since '93. 2,000 plus creative real estate transactions. I was in the RE/MAX Hall of Fame, all that. One of the programs, Do-It-Yourself or Partner. The two main Do-It-Yourself or Partner. And you can go to the products page, guys, and see an overview of the rest of this. But the National Surplus Funds, you can do any state from home online. There's 5 states that you can't get into that we won't take from you. Now, remember, online from home. So if you're in one of these states, that doesn't matter. You can work 45 states in the United States. So don't go, oh, well, I'm in such and such. Are you sure you won't take? I won't. It's an online system, guys. It doesn't matter. I mean, get out of that. I get that a lot when people are OCD. They say, I'm in Washington State. I want to work it. Fine, work it. Just don't work Washington State lists. Work other ones. Washington State, Oregon, we don't want to work because they're on a witch hunt out there trying to put people out of business. North Carolina, we have a separate program for that. Florida, we have a separate program for that. And Washington, D.C., we don't want you to work. Okay, so Oregon, Washington, North Carolina, Florida. Oh, also Ohio, you can't work, and Washington D.C. Again, from home online. So if you live in one of those states, it doesn't matter. You can work another one. Okay. What are the programs? Again, National Surplus is the main one. Any state except for those 5 I mentioned. Yes, we partner up with you. We will buy the people out, guys. We'll get it out in their name. We'll have them sign an agreement with our attorney, and we will get it out in their name. Flip Pro, this is for folks that have had previous real estate experience. These are the 2 main ones. We have a ton of programs out there. Flip Pro, you do yourself. It's wholesaling, and that is a in-person, go into the courthouse, get stuff done locally. What are you responsible for? Well, with National Surplus Funds, you're doing the research. You got to put hours in, okay? You got to work. You have an average file. I'm going to go into the average file time here too. You get a list. We teach you how to do that. We don't provide it. We teach you how to get that list. Online, you research the debt that was against the property, and that's it. Debt against the property, deed transfers, that type of thing. Send that information to us on our title worksheet with the documents we ask for, which you can download online. And again, end of this video, I'll show you how to do that. Once you do that and send it in, we take it from there. We find the people. We put the deal together. We get them set up and hire and pay the attorney. We take it all the way through the end where we pay you out. You're looking at, I'll just do this right in front of you, hours and average file time. Worst case conversion I've ever seen is about 5%, so it would take 20 files, right, to get one paid on. The average file, the minimum surplus we will take is $15,000. The average file, as a result, is right around $35,000 because that's our minimum is at 15. The average is $35,000. We pay 8%. Okay, $2,800 is the average payout to you guys. It'll take you 20 files. Each file takes about 20 minutes. Once you get, the first couple of files under your belt, so you got 400 minutes, right? Well, that's about 6.5 hours. So for every 6.5 hours you put in researching these files and sending them into us, it's $2,800. That's a lot of money. I have attorneys that don't make that. Okay, so that's about the average. Again, 5% is the average conversion rate. That's actually high for this business, and that's with us using TLO and Microbilt, the best systems possible. You get paid generally, guys. It takes us about 3 months from when you send in files for you to get paid. And the reason it does is we've got to find the people, put the deal together, get everything signed, hire the attorney, double check your title work with a title company after you've sent it in. We'll have it checked at the court. Get on the docket. So getting in touch with them and putting the deal together is a month. Getting on the docket with the attorney is a month. Having the county actually pay it out takes about a month. So that's why it's about 3 months on average. These people telling you you can get paid in a week are just, they're lying to you. Okay? Same thing with you just look up the guy on a list and you're done. That's a lie. You have to look up and see, was there other debt against the property? No, the sale does not kick out that other debt. No. if the other debt was in line against that property at the time of the foreclosure or the tax sale auction, that has a priority claim to the money in front of the owner. Period. These guys are lying to you. Over 40% of the people that buy my program start with somebody else that filled them up with baloney, and now they came to me because I'm the only one telling them the truth. It is not hard to do, to research this, okay? I don't know why they're lying about that. Anyway, we 1099 each end of the year. We can pay it out in your name or company name. You do not have to have a company. Again, we went over the conversion percentages. Now, the installment is something we just launched, and we're watching this. We might not always offer this. National surplus is $497. With the installment, you have two options. You can put $200 down. You have immediate access to everything except either $200 or $300 down. One or the other. There's two ways to pay this. But you have immediate access to everything except how to do it on your own. That you get after you've made all the installment payments. And you can buy this program for $497, guys. You don't have to do an installment. If you do an installment, $200 down, $125 a month for 3 months. So you end up paying $575 for it. Or $300 down, $125 for 2 months. You end up paying $550 for it. Obviously, you're paying more money because it's an installment. With the way we're going to work that is simple. You have to make all the payments. You get the final. This is how you do it on your own. Or you guys, again, you can just buy this up front. $497, you're done. You get it all. You get immediate support. You can start sending in files immediately. You can start all that. You even have access again to. We have a web page where you can look on there. That's obviously password protected, but you can look on there and it will give you the file names per state, so you know what we're already working, so you won't duplicate anybody's efforts. That's a big question people have, by the way. But you get access to all that. Now, if you don't make all the payments, it's simple. If I put a deal together for you, first of all, if you miss a payment, we stop working with you. No support. We won't take files from you anymore. Okay? Because we're taking a risk doing this, guys. And it costs money for us to run your files through, so that defrays that. But if you stop doing that, if any of them do actually go under contract later, we will pay you back what you actually paid for the system. We will not pay you your 8%. If you're not going to honor your commitment, we're not going to honor ours. That's how that's going to work. We'll give you the money back for what you paid into the system. That's it. We're just not, guys. I'm not going to reward somebody by paying them $2,800 on average for a file if they're not working anymore and they didn't pay us what they said they were going to pay us. That's ridiculous. We are very upfront. There's no baloney with us. You can call me 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday at 704-791-9398. If you'd like to stick around, I'm going to go into a lot more detail as far as what's required from you. I hope this has helped answer some of your questions, guys. And again, you're welcome to call me between those hours. I'd be happy to talk to you with any specific questions you have on a program. Thanks.
All right, guys, what you're looking at is the first draft, actually, of the National Surplus Funds Chain of Title. I'm going to take you through this because I'm actually going to work a case in front of you. This is the information that we'll need filled out. You can see where you check one if it's either a mortgage foreclosure, which would include HOAs, or if it's a tax foreclosure. Name of the person or entity being foreclosed upon. The case I'm going to show you today, her name is actually Cheryl L. Long. Got this out years ago. Deed holders, you'll notice I did not, this would be at the time of the foreclosure, not the buyer that bought it at the foreclosure, but who owned it at that point. You'll notice I didn't put a name in. I have to double check deeds first. Confirm money being held, yes or no. How'd you do it? Who'd you contact? That type of thing. I'm going to get into that in a second. File or case number descriptor. Usually they do have this. In this case, it's 08 SP 800. Surplus amount, $20,100. County was Cabarrus. State was North Carolina. Date reviewed. I'm put in today's date, and I put my name in there. Foreclosed property address or legal. On the list, it had 356 Valley Brook Lane Southeast, Concord, North Carolina, 28025. So I put that in as well. As far as the date foreclosed, I'm going to come back to that. I'll show you guys how we're going to fill that out. These are items that we'd need from you. Okay, copy of the deed showing ownership at the time of the foreclosure. In other words, who was the last owner before it got foreclosed upon? If you decide you want to TLO it for the higher percentage, a copy of the TLO report showing judgments if they're applicable. Copy of list showing the amount held on this case. You should have a list that you went by. Copy of the docket showing the monies held. If you have access to a docket in that state, and most you do not, or you'll fill out the how and who above, and in other words, how'd you check it? And then, of course, copy of online deed search page you went to research the title. We have to see that you actually made an effort and look this up. If any of my items are missing, we'll not work the file. Pretty straightforward. Second page on it's going to be mortgage history. I'll come back to that. This is any mortgages that were against the property. Third page will be any judgments if you've actually looked that up. And then the last page will be the conclusion. I will now start doing the research on this and filling out as we go. All right, guys, we're on the tax records, tax department here, tax collector for Cabarrus County, and there's a reason for that. You have an address in most cases on the list. Usually that address is the foreclosure address. However, when you're checking mortgages and deeds, you have to know what the actual legal description is to make sure, especially if you do a search by owner name, you need to know what the legal description is for that property so that you know you're looking at the correct documents. Now, the beauty of going to the tax department at this point, since I have an address, and I'm going to go by address here, right? The beauty is it will give you a legal description or a parcel ID number, and those will not change, okay? So let's take a look here. House number was 356. It was Valley Brook. I'm just going to put in Valley, submit. All right. And 356, we've got a couple of different, obviously this thing has changed hands a couple of times. But let's take a look here at this one because I know that this was an 08 file and this is 10. It doesn't really matter. Look, the TMP number is the same on every single one of these. Parcel number is the same on every single one, right? But I'm going to look for, let me open it up, is right, let's see, we got deed information, legal. This is going to be the shortened legal description. I'm going to copy that. I'm just doing that for my reference, guys. I'm putting it in there. I'm going to come back. I would come back before submitting this, put that into black. Just that's how it came on there. So now we know that. And now we're going to start actually looking at deeds and mortgages against this property online. Okay, guys, now what I'm going to do is go to the Register of Deeds Department and check mortgages and deed transfers for Cheryl L. Long in Cabarrus County. I put in Cabarrus County, North Carolina, Register of Deeds, popped right up at the top. I'm clicking on that. And there are going to be other names, by the way, you can use for that. It could be land records. You can look up to see if there's online records. It can also be called official records. There's a number of names. You'll have to play with it a little bit to get to that, to be able to check things. Right here it tells me to go Cabarrus County, NC ROD. I have to acknowledge the disclaimer. We've said this before. Usually Firefox is the best one to use, unless it tells you to use a different system. Okay, let's check the full system here. Now, I had looked at this before, so it popped right up. If you remember earlier, I went ahead and plugged in the legal description. There's a good reason for that, guys. I'm going to come back here because I put this in recording date order, oldest to most recent. Okay, and I searched by name. Now, here is a mortgage. See how it says that? Mortgage right there. It's the oldest mortgage I've got with her name on it. So I'm going to look at the image. Okay, and I can see it's her and Frank. And let's take a look here. It shows an address that's different, 662 Bainbridge Drive. Let's take a look up here. It's Exhibit A. This is the actual address that they used and referenced. And if you look, they usually have exhibits near the end. I'm going to look at the exhibit and I'm going to double check to make sure it's not the same property. Lying and being in the this is Exhibit A. Lying and being in the city of Concord, numbers 4 and 5 Township of Cabarrus County. That's not even close. This is a different property. Now, if you look at the next one, you'll see that that particular mortgage was satisfied. You'll even see here it says see book 1336, page 234, and look at this, 1336, 234. So I know that that's a satisfied mortgage. Now, just because it says, obviously if I was you and I was starting out, I'd open this. I'm familiar with Cabarrus County, but anyway, open it up, certificate of satisfaction. It's about this mortgage they both had together. Next thing we see is a deed. I'm going to open that, take a look at it. All right. Now, this deed is to unit number 27, Stonebridge Homes. Let's see what else we got here for descriptions. It's Cheryl Long, unmarried. So obviously she's no longer with Frank. We've got a matching address here We've got a matching address, but that may not be the property address. Sometimes they put the address of the person to get in touch with. So it really counts as right here. And this is being all of Unit 27 Stonebridge Townhomes as shown on plat, book 48, page 40. Guys, that matches the legal we put. Look, Unit 27 Stonebridge Townhomes phase, it matches. So I know I've got the right property. All right. So this is the first deed we've got. This may be the deed that you guys are going to need to turn into us. Okay. And you can hit print right here. But that may be unless the deed transferred after this prior to the foreclosure sale, that'll be the deed that we need. Okay. So what's the next thing? The next thing here is a deed of trust. That's another way of saying mortgage. Let's take a look at it. All right. And this is where you would fill it out on that worksheet. Because this is a deed of trust. Borrower is Cheryl Long, unmarried, Allen Tate Mortgage Services. MERS is a separate corporation acting solely nominee for the lender. MERS is the beneficiary under this security instrument. Very important. Now, you've got all the information you need on this. In fact, you also have it to the left here. So let's go ahead and let's fill this in, okay? Let's fill in the information we need that we've gotten here on the mortgage section. Let's go down. Name of mortgage holder. I'm going to put all right, I'm going to put right here Allen Tate Mortgage Company for MERS. What was the amount? Well, it'll tell you right here. In the deed of trust, what do we got? $53,900. Don't need to have other information like terms and all that. Just $53,900 was this mortgage amount. Date is the recording date, guys. So I'm going to put the mortgage $53,900. All right, date recorded. Let me take a look at that. I would actually print this, guys, if I were you. I've got the booking page right there. Date recorded 12/15/2005. You can also look on the document itself. Let's take a look. Booking page. Book 6428, page 0206. 6428, 0206. I'm also going to, because I have it, if there's a loan number here, I will put that in as well. MIN number is a loan number, guys, when it's MERS. So let's pretend like I typed that in to keep this a little shorter. You need to put the whole amount in here, the whole number. But, okay. Address, contact info for the mortgage holder. I'm not going to put that on there right now because I want to see if it's satisfied first. Okay. So what's the next thing? We've got a substitute trustee. And I'll show you what that is. Actually, I was surprised to see that the multiple states use this type of arrangement where they change it. You can see, it says right here, Allen Tate Mortgage, lender said deed of trust recorded December 15, 2005, book 6428, 206. The bank is changing the trustee. They're changing their attorney. They're changing it over from the original attorney that was on that, which is called a trustee, to somebody that it's Kellum and Pettit, who's basically a foreclosure mill. They're just changing it because they're going to foreclose. Okay. Next thing you see is a trustee's deed. Let's take a look at that. Now, on the trustee's deed, you've got where it says that it was transferred from her. Okay. They appointed a substitute trustee, and they transferred this to the buyer at the foreclosure sale, right? You can see who it is, Marla Alley. It's over there on the left. It'll also show you that in the document itself, where it shows you who got it, and it's just it's a deed. It's trustee's deed. Okay, so I know it was satisfied. So I'm going to make a note here on this mortgage that it was satisfied. Satisfied, paid off, if so, the reference. Okay, yes. It was satisfied because satisfied, it was foreclosing entity, right? So, of course, they're paid, guys. That's how surplus was created. It sold for more money than the debt that was owed against it, including attorney's fees and that type of thing. So it's done. So let's go back. We've got that foreclosing entity. I need that reference, okay? I need the reference on this. So the reference is book 8444-0217, 10-2-2008. 8444-0217. Okay. Oh, 10-2-2008. All right. There was no second mortgage. Look, I can scroll through here. Look. Let's take another look. Get rid of that one. What's next? This is a notice of foreclosure. It was just filed. It's just letting everybody know that they satisfied that. It's another way to let them know that that particular debt has been satisfied. See? Notice of foreclosure of a deed of trust. Tells you exactly what happened. It's just a recap of that. All right? That's it. There's no other documents in here. Now, obviously, what I'm going to do for the program is I'm going to do an example of a much more difficult title work so that you'll know what you're dealing with. Now, here, if you had TLO, now look, there's room for second mortgage, third, fourth, fifth, and then you come to the judgment section. If there are none, first of all, if you TLO'd it, use TLO or TLOXP, you can put none in here if you did that. If you didn't, don't put none. Leave it blank, and we'll know that we have to check TLO. And then your conclusion down here, if there had been a judgment, they would be first in line. If there had been a second judgment, they would be second in line. And then the name. Now, in the past, we've also had where people have put mortgages in here. Now, granted, that can happen, but you need to know the balance of that mortgage or a basis for that. And we'll go into that with the bank. In this case, there were no other mortgages. And I'm going to tell you right now, we did TLO this one already. There were no other judgments. So the one that's first in line is obviously Cheryl L. Long. And that's what you would put in the top line there. Now, let's recap real quick what you're looking for. These are the documents. Copy of deed showing ownership at time of foreclosure. That would have been that deed I showed you, okay? Because there was no deed transfer before the foreclosure and after Cheryl bought it. Copy of the TLO report if you're going to use TLO. You don't have to send that, guys. Copy of a list showing the amount held on the case. Copy of the docket showing money's held if you've got a docket. If you don't, then tell us how you double-check the money was there. And then copy of an online deed search page you went to research the title. So you could actually make a copy of this particular page and include that so we know that you checked it out. And guys, that's it. That's it.